Hello, in this update we'll be covering Sledge. Sledge is a 2-armor, 2-speed operator. He's a part of the SAS CTU. He is British and Irish. This is him now, as you can see. Sledge carries with him an assault rifle or a shotgun, a submachine gun, or a pistol. The submachine gun is very superior to the pistol. Sledge also has flashbangs or a frag grenade. Generally you want to go with a frag grenade unless perhaps you're on hostage. Sledge's assault rifle is great for long range, and then it's often common to switch to the submachine gun at close range. Just to show them off, everyone has headgear and skins that they have that you can unlock. Yes, that is an Immortan Joe one. There are a few skins and headgear in this game that are things referring to films and other material. Sledge is one of the few characters in the game with an elite skin. Only a few have this, like Capcan and Thermite. I don't know of any others. When it comes to destruction, Sledge is one of the best in the game. His sledgehammer has so many uses, he can just keep breaking through all sorts of different surfaces and opening all sorts of new sight lines and paths. Sledge is one of the more mobile characters because of this, despite having only 2 speed. Just showing off again, Sledge can really leave holes everywhere. These not only aid you directly, but indirectly, in that every single hole is a new place the enemy has to watch. Sledge can just keep making them and making them, making the enemy be more afraid of what could be around every corner. Every sightline adds more tension to the battle. Sledge can also, of course, break through doors in one hit. He can break through barbed wire in one hit. He cannot break shields. He can break trapdoors in one hit. Concrete, he will not go through, despite what the intro video shows. Trapdoors, nothing to it. His sledge does run out, though, oddly. Now, I'm going to be a bit of a goof and show off a little aspect of Sledge's sledgehammer that you'll rarely get to see when playing the game. You can actually kill people with the sledgehammer. It counts as a melee, and a melee hit is a one-hit kill. So you can just sprint up into people's faces and just bash them to death. It only takes one hit. That's if you can get close enough to them in the first place. Of course, in Terrorist Hunt, it's a lot easier to get close to your enemies and smash. It looks really goofy on Terrorist Hunt because there's a slight delay whenever enemies die, especially with how the servers were when I was playing. Something to keep in mind of when you're attacking, you want to watch out for cameras like this. There will be cameras on the outside and inside of every building. When attacking, you want to destroy them because the defenders can see through them and mark where you are. Over here are castle barricades. Castle barricades are immune to bullets other than glasses. Glass is the only one that can penetrate them. The hammer, though, can break straight through them, making Sledge a great counter to castle. Sledge is just great in general at breaking down anything other than steel reinforcements and shields. With his grenades, he can also funnel enemies, force them out of areas. He can get some nice cheeky little kills. I don't know what that castle was thinking, in all honesty. But that did not go well for him. You can see the power of Sledge's assault rifle. It's highly accurate, highly deadly. One of the better ones in the game, I would say. Not as great as Twitch's. This is in general how you want to use Sledge, either doing this and assaulting one spot or flanking from another side after breaking through. Again, always take out cameras. Even if they're really far away, cameras have no limit to distance to see you. In fact, foliage does not block a camera from spotting you. Over here, I'm using a drone that I placed in this room to check out and make sure it's clear, which it isn't. There's a Kavira in here roaming. Roaming is when a defender roams around an area and protects it rather than staying next to the objective. Roamers like to flank and are very, very deadly and dangerous. Which means the same thing. Now, this is just some simple flooring in this room. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot to it, but it's above the objective. Steel reinforcements are on the trapdoor, so that means I can't break it, but I can break all of the floor around it and create new sight lines. Even if I'm not going to be firing through these, my teammates might, and it is also going to be scaring the hell out of everyone below. Down there, they're generally going to be looking up, trying to figure out where I am, what sight lines are being opened. They're going to be constantly checking and fretting over it, and while I'm up here distracting the enemy and confusing them, my teammates are down there capping the objective and taking people out. It didn't contribute too much, but it contributed a little bit, but that little bit helps. When attacking, you want to take your drone and set it up somewhere that's pretty useful to you. Right here I'm jumping it up on top of a vending machine that has a nice little spot to look over and watch for cover, watch for enemies wherever they are next to the objective, and the area that we'll be entering through. Sledge is not the best character for hostage, because in hostage you want to not kill the hostage or you'll lose. And one of his better gadgets are his frag grenades. You don't want to throw those anywhere near the hostage. It's incredibly easy to kill the hostage. Often when you're attacking or even defending a door, you're going to want to watch for feet on the other side, because I can tell you right where someone is. They might not be able to see you, but if you can see their feet, you know where their torso is going to be. Smashing down the door, opening sight lines, breaking and entering. Attacking in general. There are two ways you want to approach a corner. You either want to go around fast or go around very slowly. You don't want to have an in-between, because then you have the worst of both worlds. You either want the peeker's advantage, or to not let the peeker against you get the advantage. It's something I'll go into later on. Right there, castle barricades can't be shot through. I can't do anything to those from here. You always want to aim where you know heads are going to be when the characters are at crouch height or standing height, predicting what stance they'll be in. Remember to always watch for cameras and take them out. I can't drill you enough on that. It's one of the most important tenets of attacking. Watch entryways, keep your gun aimed at where you're expecting heads to be, and watch on your own drones and drone areas out and make sure that they're clear. Watch for enemies and then flank them and attack them whenever they don't know where you are, but you know where they are. Right here, sneaking up on a Kavira. I really wish I'd hit her with a hammer. That was the perfect opportunity to, and I missed it. I keep trying to, but it's so hard to get a kill with a hammer. I almost did here, but no. Tachanka died too early. For your amusement, again, here is another attempt at a hammer swing. They're just not working out. That's why I had to do it in Terrorist Hunt, because I couldn't get a live person to basically be stupid enough to get hit by the hammer. Here you can see me miss.
Time to make a new door.
Down to one friendly.
Here I was on comms talking, and an ally asked me to open up this wall so that they can go through, find out where the enemy are, get some new sight lines. You want to work with your team. Sledge is able to open whatever they need other than steel reinforcements. So if you're working with the Sledge or are the Sledge yourself, get ready to listen to what your teammates need, where they want openings at. Or be ready to ask your Sledge for openings that you might want for yourself. Don't be stingy as Sledge, and don't be worried about asking. You might not be able to move there in time, or move where you need, but resources aren't really the problem since you get so many swings with the sledgehammer as Sledge. Oh, sorry. You can also startle the hell out of people by suddenly breaking open walls where they did not expect you to be. When you are crouching and smash a wall, it has to be crouched through. When you're standing and smash a wall, it can be jumped through. You can use this to force your enemies or your allies to move in certain ways. Whether you want them to have to stand while going through an area, whether you want them to jump while going through an area, or whether you want them to have to slowly crouch through something.
Changing magazine. Charge going up. Detonating.
Sometimes Sledge's hammer is pretty easy to mess with. You just feel like a dork every time you don't hit that. And bounced off. Sometimes, though, if Sledge isn't an option for you, there is another operator that functions very similar to him, called Buck. Buck is the Canadian operative, the attacker for it. He has what's called the Master Key. It's a shotgun attached to his assault rifle or DRM rifle, depending on which one you took. You're able to switch between the shotgun and your rifle with just a click of a button. It functions very similar to the sledgehammer and is great for breaking things open, but it doesn't create quite as wide of an opening. It doesn't smash things quite as easily in one hit. It also cannot break through castle barricades, making it so that Sledge is who you want to break those. On the other hand, though, Buck is able to switch between the Master Key and his main weapon much more quickly, making him a bit more viable at surprising enemies than Sledge is. Both, of course, carry frag grenades or flash grenades, meaning in almost every way they function the same. It's why you'll often see that if you have a Sledge or a Buck, you don't need the other.
Hostile activity. Neutralize the threat. Stop securing the container.
Now, despite being only 2 speed, Sledge can sometimes pull up some ridiculous little tricks here. It was just so hilarious, I had to show it off.
Hostage secured.
There is a teammate literally taking a bullet for me. I've never done anything quite like this in the game before, but I managed it as Sledge. Next update, we will be taking a look at Doc, who is a defender.